Everybody, Dr. Adam Mathews with Mathews Counseling. We're here with Micah Wyatt today, and we are talking about sex. So all of February, we are talking about sex and relationships and some obstacles that often come up with in sex and relationship. And Micah, we're talking today about some of the stigmas that come up, particularly with both men and with women, when we're talking
Mhm.
about sex. And just tell me, why do you think, and it's as for all the kind of sexual revolution that's happened over the last 40 to 50 years, this is still a difficult topic that comes up.
Yeah.
You see couples, I see couples, and we know that it's such a hard thing for couples to talk about. Tell me, what do you think is at the root of that, of why it's become so difficult to talk about, particularly in committed relationships?
Well, I think it becomes a difficult topic to broach because of like you said before, the stigma, but there are different ones that hit men and women. For men, it's, typically in heterosexual relationships, it's like one of those things where you got to have if you're not having sex, then, you're kind of like lame or you're not popular or whatever. But for women,
Yeah,
it's the it's the different thing, right? Like if you're having sex, then you're slut shamed is what they call it now, or you're
mm,
given a whole lot of like monikers that are not indicative of who you are. And so when you get all of that and you have it over a period of time,
yeah,
and then once you get married, those stigmas and those fears still travel with you. And then you get
yeah,
married and you're like, well, I don't want my husband or my wife to feel like I'm promiscuous, or I don't want my husband or I don't want my wife to feel like I'm not good enough, or whatever the case
yeah,
may be. And it happens in that type of situation where it continues to be just a taboo subject, uncomfortable, something that we don't
yeah.
talk.
Yeah. Well, and I like what you're saying too, is that it originates a lot in just kind of our own fears about how
Hmm.
we are going to be perceived by our partner, right? I deal with a lot of guys that feel like they're going to be seen as a pervert, or they're going to be seen
Hmm.
as wanting sex too much, or even not wanting sex enough, right? Or women that are going to be seen as, like, kind of what you were saying, is like the words that get thrown around, like the slut,
Yeah.
or that unfortunately get attached to sex work as well. And
Yeah.
all of those things get tied into our psyche around sex. And a lot of it too, I don't know if you see this as well, but a lot of it has to do with how we were raised and the concepts that got either taught to us directly or indirectly about sex. Do you find that to be true as well?
For sure, for sure. A lot of times it's been my experience, especially in couple sessions, where they bring over a lot of what they were taught in terms of their religious practices and stuff
Yeah.
about sex and what you should and shouldn't do and what's okay and what's
Mhm.
not okay. And it really boxes you in sometimes, especially in your relationship,
Yeah.
because it creates a situation where we've now not developed the space to talk
Yes.
about these things in a healthy, productive, and affirming way, right? And so
Yeah.
whenever we get things like that in the therapy room, or just in conversation of the relationship, it makes it even the more hard for us to be willing to broach those topics as a couple and not
Yes.
feel weirded out by it. And so that's
Yes.
that's been one of my experience with it.
Yeah, there's a great stat. I have to go back to find it exactly, but I believe it's something like 65% of couples who don't talk about sex report having a deep dissatisfaction in their sexual relationship, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of like those things are correlated, is that the less you're willing to talk about it, the greater the chance that you're going to be dissatisfied in your sexual relationship with your partner. So, talk to me a little bit about, kind of, for you, how do you go about helping couples kind of get past a lot of these stigmas and a lot of these their own beliefs about that they had growing up, or whatever it is that is keeping them from being able to engage in a healthy conversation. How do you go about trying to help them kind of move past those things?
Well, one of the things that I do personally is I try to get to the root of what causes the discomfort for each of them individually, because typically it's different things for each person. And
Yeah,
so once we're able to put that on the table, then we can have more of a conversation about, where did you formulate these ideas? At what point did you notice this started to become a real uncomfortable topic for you? At what point did you start to explore your own sexuality? And just kind of getting as it pertains to the individualized approach to sex, and then looking at it after that as a couple. What do we
Mhm.
want our sex life to look like inside of our marriage? And
Yeah.
creating that safe space inside the treatment room kind of models how you do it when you're not in treatment.
Yes, that's
And then
right. I,
opening, yep, go ahead.
oh, oh, go ahead. No, finish what you were going to say.
So
I want to
I
hear
was just going to say, just open to making sure that we can have those conversations in a way that reframe a bit of what we think about sex and what how we approach sex with each other. It really starts to take
it.
the spookiness away from it. It really starts to take
Yeah.
the shame away from it. It really makes it a natural, very human thing to do.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I love what you say there about like the necessity of creating a safe space for it to be able to have that conversation. And sometimes that requires the sex to can be the most direct way to build like the conversations around sex because you want safety in every aspect of your relationship, right? Safety builds emotional intimacy, and safety builds connectedness, and so. But sex is such a raw and vulnerable topic for a lot of people that when you're able to make it safe to have that conversation, a lot of the other stuff can follow as well. So it's almost kind of a
Yep.
direct route to being able to have those conversations. And for you, what builds that safety? Like what is happening between couples that really builds a safe space to have those conversations about sex?
It's a normalized language, and
Yes.
and kind of making it normal to say things like sex, to
Yeah.
say intercourse, to really describe to one another, especially in a couple context, what you want to get out of an intimate interaction with your partner, and being
Mm.
explicit about what your desires are, and making that normal. And I think
Yeah.
that that's one of the overall things that you do in therapy anyway when people come, because there's this stigma around coming to therapy that if you come, something's got to be wrong with you.
Yeah.
And so we kind of go through that whole phase of normalizing and making you human again, and not looking at it as if it's something that's supposed to be a shameful act or a shameful conversation. And once we start
Yes.
normalizing that language, it really opens us up to be able to hear the other person's desire, and be able to hear exactly
Mm.
what it is that they want to receive and want to experience with us in terms of a sexual interaction. And then
Yes.
we kind of are able to be okay with saying, you know what, all right, cool, you said this is what you want, I'm willing to try it. No, I'm not going to make you
Yeah.
feel weird for wanting this, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
I'm willing to try it, right? And so
Yeah.
normalizing that particular language and really normalizing the interaction, I think, is really what helps us get there faster.
Mm. Yeah, I love that because I think that there's a lot of acceptance in that too, right? Like normalization means that whatever's going on with you that we can accept, right? And I like that there's something too to like that idea that yes, I can also maybe have if my when our desire and when sex is taken out of the shame category and put into the more normal category, there may be more space for me to step into what my partner wants and needs. But it also would allow me to say, hey, I'm not comfortable with that. And I'm not going to be able
Yep.
to, like, let's talk about how we can meet it, maybe either meet in the middle or is there other desires and wants that I can kind of fulfill for you? But it allows us to do both things. It allows us to say yes more, but then it also allows no not to sting as much because then
Yeah.
we're working on this to build something together.
Yep.
The other thing I'd say that I think you're hinting at, but I want to be explicit at, is the idea that we are supposed to know exactly how
Yeah.
to have sex in a way that
Uh-huh.
builds meaningful connection between the two of us, that is supposed to be automatic and it's supposed to be at 100% right away in our relationship, and it's only supposed to get better and better and better. Like I think there's this idea that we should be perfect at it right away just because we don't, and that a lot of times prevents us from talking about it or
It does.
prevents normal like sex like mistakes happen in sex, weird stuff happens in
Uh-huh.
sex, like there's different things that go on that
Yep.
sometimes cannot be pleasant. And so taking that into that normal phase means that all of that's normal, and we're just
Yep.
working together to continue to try to build some connection together as well.
That's like such a great point because you know, it's a hard thing to get to that place whenever you're stunted by the fear, right? But to have this expectation that it's supposed to be 100% every time is just it's unrealistic, and it really puts you and your partner in a position where it's like, you know what? Why even try? I know I'm not going to hit the mark, so
Yes.
what am I trying for? And
Yes.
so then now we create even the more distance in the relationship, and we create
Yes.
distance in our intimacy. And so I think as a part of that normalized conversation, we have to be very honest and open about the fact that, it's not going to always be 100%. You're not going to always know how to please your partner. And so
That's
this
right.
is why we have to normalize these conversations and not be afraid to have them, because, I want to please you. I want you to
Yeah,
be
that's right.
happy and satisfied with what we're experiencing inside of our marriage. And so when we do that, it creates that space of, you know what, to your point, I'm just not comfortable with that. But what can we do to kind of meet in the
Mhm.
middle somewhere, right? And
Yeah,
so as we work our way through that's so important, such an important piece of it, is just kind of realizing that nobody's asking you to be perfect. And if they are, it probably shouldn't be.
that's right. That's right. But that's some of I think that gets to be some of the beauty of it too, is that as you're like it a lot of times, like, connection in a lot of ways is about these moments and these memories that we have together, this thing that we're creating together that is not perfect, right? If it was perfect, I don't know that it would be as connecting, because those aren't the things that I necessarily, we develop inside language and inside jokes, and
Mhm.
around the things that get kind of messed up. If we can normalize them and not be shameful around them, then we get to laugh at each other, laugh at them, and we have this kind of insider language. And then it makes the times where it does work and everything's working together, and it's really pleasurable for both parties, that it makes those
Yeah,
times stand out even more. And so this
for
kind of
sure.
this kind of goal of perfection, and where everything is 100% all the time, I think it really is very limiting for us, and kind of keeps us from these really big connecting moments.
Yeah, for sure. And I know for a lot of guys, it's been my experience that the fear of not hitting it out of the park every time, and
Yeah.
the fear of like, well, man, what are they going to go say to their friends, or what are they going to say when they're out hanging out and they're talking about
Mhm.
intimate times? Is my name? It's fear, and so you get in your head about it, and then it becomes a bigger issue. And so I think we have to just be okay with not being perfect at
That's
it, and
right.
being okay with our partner teaching us. I teach couples all the time that marriage is a lifelong teaching experience. You're
That's right.
forever going to be teaching your partner how to be with you, because you're
That's
going to
right.
change. The person
That's
that
right.
you are today is not going to be the person you are in 5 years, and so you're going to have to teach them
100%.
how to be with you as things change, and so we have to be okay
Yeah.
with that.
I agree with that too, and I think something that's important for people that are listening. We've kind of talked about the imperfect and the importance of
Yeah,
that, but the goal is that when you can move into the space that we're talking about, you're gonna have a much more fulfilling sex life,
for
and you're
sure.
gonna have something that exceeds what you have, right? Because
Mhm.
it's gonna be continually building, right? You're gonna have moments of imperfection, but you're gonna be building something that's gonna last, that's gonna be more fruitful, that's going to be more enjoyable, that because you're really kind of wanting to establish a great sexual connection for the entirety of your relationship, not just for one moment, right?
Right, right. And so, it kind of creates a stage for us to begin to wrap our mind around the concept of building inside of a relationship holistically. We're
Yeah.
building sexually, we're building financially, we're building a family, we're building what we hope our family is going to look like in
Mm,
however many years. And that work is a constant
yes.
thing. It's not something that oh, we've got there and we don't have to do any more work. No,
Yeah.
it keeps going. And so I think that if we can wrap our mind around that concept, I think it'd be much better.
Awesome. Well, Micah, thank you so much for taking some time to talk about this. What I think is a really
Sure.
important topic, and a topic
Yeah.
that's why we're doing a whole month of resources around it. If you want to know more about what Micah is talking about, he's written a great blog that is on our blog. If you go to mathewscounseling.net /blog, you can find his writing there. And we also have, if you need to go deeper with this, if this is something that's really difficult to work out on your own, we'd love to be able to help you do that. We have great couples therapists like Micah who can help you have those conversations in a safer space so that you can then begin to model those in your regular everyday life. So please reach out and we'll get you set up with some of the great couples therapists at our practice as well. Micah, thanks again, and
Thank
so
you.
glad we have you kind of leading us through and talking to us about this topic.
For sure. Thank you for having me. Thanks.